The Galactic Council had been watching Earth for centuries. Humans were a young species compared to the many alien races in the galaxy. The Council believed humans were weak, still figuring out how to navigate the stars. They thought it was time to bring Earth under control. The Council had done this to countless other planets. Show force, demand loyalty, and rule. They believed Earth would be no different. An alien fleet was sent to Earth, led by Commander Vrix, a proud and arrogant alien. He had conquered many planets before and saw humans as just another species to dominate. As the fleet arrived in Earth's orbit, Commander Vrix sent a message to the humans, demanding their immediate surrender. He didn't bother with respect or diplomacy. He saw no need to be polite to a species he believed to be inferior. In his message, he called humans primitive creatures and warned them that resistance would lead to destruction. Earth, however, did not respond with fear. Instead, the leaders of Earth's united government sent their own message back to the aliens. The message was simple: we will not surrender. Turn back now or you will regret it. Commander Vrix laughed when he heard the humans' response. They are trying to be brave, he told his officers, amusement clear in his voice. They think they can scare us off with empty threats. The Galactic Council watched closely from their grand chambers, curious to see how the humans would react. Many of them agreed with Vrix. Humans had no idea what they were up against. The Council believed this would be a quick operation. They thought humans would fold under pressure like so many others had. But Earth did not fold. Humans didn't panic or beg for mercy. Instead, they calmly prepared for what was to come. On Earth, leaders from every nation came together in secret meetings. They knew about the Galactic Council and had been preparing for years. Humans were aware that one day, someone from the stars might try to conquer them. They had built weapons, developed technology, and trained their military for such an event. But they had kept all of this hidden, not wanting to reveal their strength too soon. Now it was time to show the galaxy what humans could do. As the alien fleet moved closer, they began to disrupt Earth's communications and destroy satellites. Vrix believed this would terrify the humans and force them to surrender. Instead, Earth remained silent. Commander Vrix grew impatient. These humans are more stubborn than I thought, he muttered. No matter, they'll break soon enough. But the humans were far from breaking. Deep underground in secret military bases, generals were issuing commands. Fleets of human warships hidden from the public eye were being prepared for launch. Earth's defenses were stronger than anyone in the Galactic Council could have imagined. The first sign of trouble for the aliens came when their communications started to fail. Human hackers trained for years in cyber warfare began attacking the alien fleet's systems. Vrix, for the first time, felt a flicker of unease. How are they doing this? He demanded. His officers scrambled to find answers, but they had underestimated human intelligence. In the Galactic Council chambers, there was a growing sense of concern. Reports were coming in that humans were not as weak as they had once thought. But the Council remained confident. They believed that once the humans saw the full power of the alien fleet, they would back down. Commander Vrix, however, was beginning to see things differently. He could no longer communicate with half of his fleet. His ships were experiencing technical failures, and strange signals were interfering with their systems. It was as if the humans had been waiting for this moment. Still, he refused to believe that humans could be a real threat. Prepare the attack, he ordered, determined to show Earth who was in control. But what Vrix didn't know was that Earth had already decided its next move, and it would be a move that no one in the galaxy was prepared for. Commander Vrix's fleet hovered above Earth, ready for an attack. His patience had run out. The humans had refused to surrender, and now they would pay the price. Vrix believed that a show of force would be enough to scare them into submission. His ships fired lasers into space, destroying several of Earth's satellites. The humans' communication systems were disrupted, and chaos followed. To Vrix, this was proof that humans were weak. He watched with satisfaction as the debris from the destroyed satellites floated by. See how easily they crumble, he said to his officers, a smug grin on his face. The human warships continued their relentless assault. Unlike the aliens, who had come expecting an easy victory, the humans were prepared for a long, brutal fight. Their warships were equipped with cutting-edge technology, stealth systems that made them nearly invisible, advanced weaponry, and powerful shields. But their greatest weapon was their ability to adapt. As the alien fleet struggled to recover, the human warships moved swiftly, hitting them from all sides. The humans didn't just rely on brute force, they used strategy, precision, and intelligence. Their coordinated attacks left the alien fleet in chaos. In space, the once proud and arrogant Commander Vrix was losing control. His ships were being torn apart, and every order he gave seemed to come too late. "We need reinforcements!" Vrix barked at his officers. "Sir, we can't communicate with the Council," one of the officers replied, his voice shaking. "The humans have blocked our signals." Vrix's heart sank. They were completely cut off from the Galactic Council. He had never imagined that a species like humans could be capable of such technological warfare. The humans had turned the alien fleet's own systems against them, jamming their communications and disabling their weapons. Meanwhile, on Earth, General Hayes was calm and focused. He knew the aliens were close to breaking. "We've got them on the run," one of the human commanders said. "Should we press the attack?" Hayes thought for a moment. "No, not yet. Let them make the next move. We don't need to rush. They're desperate, and desperate enemies make mistakes." Vrix, on the other hand, was out of options. His fleet was crumbling, and he had no way to call for help. In his desperation, he made the one mistake that General Hayes had predicted. "Launch the ground invasion," Vrix ordered, his voice trembling with anger. "If we can't win in space, we'll take the planet by force." His officers hesitated. "But, Commander?" "Do it!" Vrix screamed. "I will not leave here defeated by humans." With no other choice, Vrix's remaining forces prepared for a ground invasion. Troop ships began to descend towards Earth's surface, filled with heavily armed alien soldiers. Vrix believed that if he could capture key human cities, he might still win. But Vrix was making his second fatal mistake. The humans were not only prepared for a space battle, they were ready for a ground war, too. As the alien troop ships entered Earth's atmosphere, they were met with a new challenge. Human anti-aircraft systems, hidden in remote locations, fired powerful missiles at the descending ships. Explosions filled the sky as alien troop carriers were shot down before they even reached the ground. In the cities, human soldiers armed with advanced weapons and armored vehicles took up defensive positions. They knew the aliens were coming, and they were more than ready. "Let them come," General Hayes said, watching the battle unfold. "We'll show them what happens when you provoke humans." The ground invasion had barely begun, but already the aliens were learning the hard way. Humans were not the weak and helpless species they had assumed, and this was only the beginning. This part shifts the battle to Earth's surface, with humans showing their readiness for both space and ground warfare, while Vrix makes desperate decisions. "Let me know what you think." News of the disastrous invasion of Earth spread quickly throughout the galaxy. The Galactic Council had expected a swift victory over the humans, but now the entire council was in shock. Reports flooded in. Commander Vrix's fleet was nearly destroyed, and his ground invasion was failing miserably. The humans, whom the galaxy had viewed as primitive and weak, were proving to be far more dangerous than anyone had anticipated. In the heart of the Galactic Council's capital, Councillor Zarn paced nervously. His scaled skin gleamed under the artificial lights, and his multiple eyes blinked rapidly as he read the latest updates from the battlefield. "How could this happen?" Zarn muttered, disbelief in his voice. "Commander Vrix was supposed to crush them. They're just humans!" The council's chamber was filled with murmurs of panic. Each alien species represented on the council had grown comfortable in their superiority over the smaller civilizations they controlled. The humans had been seen as just another minor species to be conquered, but now everything was different. Councillor Zex, a tall and slender figure with translucent skin, raised a hand to silence the room. "This situation is out of control," Zex said, his voice cold and sharp. "We underestimated the humans, and now the entire galaxy is watching us fail." The council members exchanged worried glances. Word of the humans' victory over Vrix's fleet was spreading, and fear was starting to take hold among the council's member species. If the humans could defeat one of the council's most powerful fleets, who else could they defeat? "We need to send reinforcements," Councillor Zarn urged, his voice rising with desperation. "We can't let this defeat stand. The humans must be crushed or we'll lose control of the galaxy." But not everyone in the chamber agreed. Some of the more cautious councillors feared that sending more forces to Earth could only make things worse. The humans had already proven that they were capable of fighting back and winning. What if they're stronger than we think? Councillor Drev, a member of the insectoid Dravok species, asked. his antennae twitching nervously. What if sending more troops only leads to another defeat? We don't even know how advanced their technology is. The room fell silent at Drev's words. No one could answer his question. The truth was, the council knew very little about humans. They had always assumed that the humans were a weak, backward species, but now that assumption was crumbling. Meanwhile, in the outer reaches of the galaxy, the news of the humans' triumph had begun to spread to other planets. Species that had lived under the Council's rule for centuries were starting to see hope. If humans could resist the Council, maybe they could too. On a distant planet, a small rebellion leader named Tarek watched the reports of the human victory with a gleam of excitement in his eyes. He had spent his entire life fighting against the Council's oppressive rule, but he had never imagined that anyone could actually defeat them. "Maybe we've been looking at this all wrong," Tarek said to his followers, pointing at the holographic screen showing the battlefield on Earth. "If the humans can fight back, so can we. This could be our chance." Back at the Galactic Council, panic continued to spread. As more reports came in, it became clear that the situation on Earth was spiraling out of control. Vrix's fleet was in ruins, and his ground forces were being wiped out by the humans' superior tactics and hidden weaponry. "We need a new plan," Counselor Zex said, his voice grim. "If we continue this war, it could trigger an uprising across the galaxy. The humans have already become a symbol of resistance. Other species might join them." Counselor Zarn slammed his fist on the table. "We cannot show weakness. If the galaxy sees us back down, our authority will collapse." But the truth was undeniable. The humans had done what no one in the galaxy had expected. They had fought back, and now the entire galaxy was watching. Fear was spreading among the Council's member species, and for the first time in centuries, the Galactic Council was facing a challenge it didn't know how to handle. As the Council argued, one thing became clear. The war with the humans had changed everything. The galaxy was on the edge of chaos, and no one knew what would happen next. The humans, once ignored and underestimated, had become the greatest threat the Galactic Council had ever faced. And now, the rest of the galaxy was starting to wonder if the humans could win this war, and if they could, what else were they capable of? The aftermath of the failed invasion was felt across the galaxy. Commander Vrix's fleet lay in ruins, and the surviving alien soldiers had been forced to retreat. The humans had not only defended their planet, but they had also sent a powerful message to the Galactic Council and every species in the universe: humanity was not to be underestimated. In the council chambers, the mood was grim. The once mighty leaders of the Galactic Council, who had commanded respect through fear and domination, were now silent. Their failure to defeat the humans had shaken their confidence, and more importantly, it had shaken their control over the galaxy. Counselor Zarn, his usually confident posture now slumped, spoke in a low, defeated tone. "We cannot afford another defeat like this. The humans have proven themselves." He paused, choosing his words carefully. "We underestimated them, and we've paid the price." Counselor Zex, who had once advocated for crushing the humans, now nodded in agreement. "The humans are not like the others we've conquered. They fight with a strength and unity we didn't anticipate. We must consider alternative approaches." The Council had no choice but to face reality. They had been humiliated on a galactic scale, and their reputation had been damaged. Other species were already beginning to question the Council's authority. Rebellion leaders across the galaxy, like Tarek, had been emboldened by the humans' victory. But more surprising than the humans' military strength was the respect they had earned. Despite the Council's power and technology, the humans had fought back with resilience, intelligence, and an unshakable determination to protect their home. It was something that even the most hardened counselors couldn't deny. "We need to open diplomatic channels with Earth," Counselor Drev suggested, his insectoid voice clicking. "We've made a mistake. If we continue this war, we will only unite other species against us. But if we negotiate..." He trailed off, leaving the possibility hanging in the air. There was a long silence in the chamber as the council members considered this. For centuries, they had ruled through fear, never needing to negotiate with any species they encountered. But the humans were different. "Negotiation may be our only option," Zex finally admitted, his voice filled with reluctance. "The humans have earned their place in the galaxy, whether we like it or not. On Earth, the human leaders gathered in their command center, still processing their victory. General Hayes stood at the head of the table, his expression calm but resolute. The battle had been long and brutal, but humanity had prevailed. "We've done more than just defend Earth," Hayes said, his voice firm. "We've changed the way the galaxy sees us." The room was filled with quiet nods of agreement. They had shown the Galactic Council and the rest of the universe that humans were not an easy target. More importantly, they had won respect, not just through their military strength, but through their unity and courage. "The Council will come back," one of the officers said cautiously. "They'll want revenge for this." Hayes shook his head. "Maybe, or maybe they'll realize that fighting us won't get them what they want. We've proven we can defend ourselves. Now, we need to prove that we can be more than just a species that fights back. We can be a species that leads." The idea hung in the air. Humanity had been on the defensive for so long, fighting to survive in a galaxy that saw them as weak. But now the tables had turned. They had earned respect not just through force, but through their ability to adapt, to think, and to stand together. "The galaxy is watching us," Hayes continued. "They see what we've done, and some of them are afraid. But others are starting to respect us. We can use that. We can build alliances, create partnerships, and show the galaxy that humans are a force for good." Back in the galaxy, other species began to reconsider their views on humanity. On distant planets, leaders who had once feared the Council's power were now looking to Earth as an example. The humans had done the impossible. They had stood up to the most powerful force in the galaxy and won. In the shadows of the Council's rule, whispers of rebellion grew louder. The humans had shown that the Galactic Council was not invincible. They had shown that even the smallest, most underestimated species could rise up and challenge their oppressors. And in the Galactic Council chambers, the once dominant rulers of the galaxy now faced a decision. Continue a war they could no longer win, or recognize the humans as equals. The choice was clear. The humans, once viewed as weak and insignificant, had earned their place among the stars. They had won the respect of the galaxy, and from that day forward, the name human was spoken not with derision, but with admiration.